Hello, hello. I'm Deb. I like to talk about my human experience. Hopefully, it'll help you gain some confidence in yours. And today's video, there's so much going on. There's solar flares, there's weird light beams showing up in the sky. Manifestations are just quickening, definitely quickening. And a lot of the quickening is because there's more of us getting on page of how everything works. And that itself is going to put more power behind the machine that we are creating for the new world, right? Like the only reason the reality exists for most people to function as an NPC, the only reason that exists as it is right now is because there is a large amount of people that believe it exists. There was a group of people that got together and decided they wanted to run the whole world and all of humanity how they wanted. And so they implemented that. And everything about our current lifestyle, down to even like the materials that they make our clothes out of, are designed to prevent us from reaching our spiritual potential. And I'm not sure exactly what our purpose here on earth is. I have many different theories. I've been through religions, both godly and ungodly. uh yeah. And from witchcraft to atheism to all the science, like there's so many stories out there about what we're doing on earth, why we're here, what we're supposed to be doing here. But the whether it's like a game of leveling up with success, I don't think so. um is it even a game of leveling up our spirituality? Do we need to level up our spirituality? A lot of people are happy with mundane life and NPCs and don't care to evolve spiritually. A lot of people maybe still view spirituality as religious, which I that is changing. That I mean that's already changed. The ability to spread information with the internet has completely changed. Like it's drawn the line. Spirituality is not religion. And having the internet and just that type of exposure of being able to explain and show to people that you don't need to be religious to be spiritual, because we definitely have a soul, we definitely have a consciousness. That is like the one thing that cannot be denied, is there's something that creates us. And I have always said spirituality is just things that science hasn't caught up to yet, and science is starting to catch up to it. And there's theories about how our consciousness literally creates our reality. Now, we've been taught that the world already exists as it is, and our brain is just a mechanical device that is observing everything, right? But what if it's observing what our heart is projecting out? Our heart is first projecting everything out, and our brain is a receiver, and it gathers all the data of everything we just created. It gathers all the information. I mean, that's the programming from birth and society and people that were around. That's where the energetic programming comes in. And if you're around lower vibration energy, that's going to have effect on your program, because your projection is going to have that involved. These subjects are just so in depth. Like I keep glancing at the length of time of video, and in my mind I'm just like, oh, it would take forever to like start from scratch and really explain things. So basically, you have a main character choice of life, or you have the NPC version choice of life, and you get to choose. And if you want to choose as an NPC and just live a mundane life, I'm sure that's fine. I don't, you'll live a peaceful life, and maybe it won't be peaceful. I don't know. Uh, because words are powerful. Every time I say I don't know, I've been trying to be mindful of saying I don't know because I want a reality where I do know. I know what's true for me and I know how I feel, and I want to be in control of how I react to my thoughts. Definitely never going to be in control of thoughts because thoughts aren't ours. Just as you see the clouds floating in the sky and the weather going around the earth, the wind blowing through the air, that's how thoughts work. Thoughts are one of those unseen forces that travel the globe, but it's an unseen force. And our brain is a receiver that picks up on that force. And then that's where your thoughts will come from. Now, what thoughts you are tuning into, that's going to be based off of your energy, your experiences, your mindset. And a lot of it, that's where the chakras come in. Our chakras are light projector centers. I mean, they're energy centers, but it's like energy going in and out. So if you have a really strong root chakra, you're going to be projecting out and receiving information that you are supported, you're secure, you're taken care of, you belong on this earth, you deserve to exist, and you're taken care of simply because you exist. There's no need to worry. Okay, I have seen people at the bottom that have nothing worry about money and not worry about money. And I've seen people at the top that have worried about money and not worried about money. The duality exists within the duality. So we can just stop worrying about the duality and just focus on what we want for our intention. Because it doesn't matter what vibration you're at, there's certain things you're still going to encounter and you're not going to get away from. Many lessons are still going to repeat themselves in some form or another. There's so much happening right now. When I was small, I can't, I just, I was raised in the LDS religion, and there's a time frame, I believe, when you're 8 years old, they want you to get baptized. And I'm so foggy on what all this really means. But I do remember them saying that every mistake that you've made up to that point will be forgiven. And every mistake that you make after that point is that mark is on your soul. You're no longer allowed to make mistakes. Or if you do, you have to soulfully repent for them, which if you're treating if you're treating children up to the age of 8 that they can just sin whatever they want because they haven't baptized yet, and so they can sin without repentance, like that's not a good psychological way to raise children. There shouldn't be this cutoff deadline. It should be right from the get-go that you have a conscience and there's energy and karma and things called being a good person. Okay, I would like to brush up on what baptism means for them, because now that I'm talking about it and I haven't thought about it in easily 20-25 years, it sounds really weird. I don't like it. Anyways, I mentioned that I was brought up religious. I didn't believe anything that they were teaching us. And I didn't believe in a heaven or a hell or a God or Satan, but I did believe in earth, and I did believe in good energy and bad energy. I believed in being a good person. I do feel like I wasn't taught to be a good person to be a good person. I do believe that I was taught to be a good person through fear, through force, through if you aren't a good person, something bad will happen to you. And I mean, yes, like that's karma, right? But like, I want, I feel like with my children, I, I teach them it's good to be a good person just because life is easier. No one enjoys being sad. And really, not being a good person always comes down to what's happening internally. And we know this now. Like growing up, psychology was not well known. Mental health was not well known. I felt like I had mental health issues before I was even into double digits. Like as a child, I felt there's something different, there's something wrong, and I don't like the environment I'm in, and I need to get out. And not to say that my environment was bad, it was the generation was exactly what it was, right? It's looking back, can we look at things from a psychological perspective and say maybe that wasn't the best way to run a household or raise a family? Yes, but like I also have that about my own household and raising my family. There are definitely moments moments. There were definitely seasons and years where I was not a great parent. And I can see where my wounds and my traumas created those not good moments. And I see as my children get older, I see how that's affected them already also. But so there's good energy and there's bad energy. And we live in a world of duality. So I don't believe you're ever going to find a perfect balance. And anytime you do, as we clean up our energy and get a little bit clearer, then we're allowing space for more of the bad energy that's within us to come up, all the stuff that we've suppressed and pushed down. Like a lot of it's just, it's, think of like an earthquake, right? Like if we were to just release everything all at once from our shadow side and all of our traumas, all of our hurts and pains, like that is definitely going to send someone into a spiral of depression or a season of psychosis. You're going to become delusional and you're going to hurt and it's going to feel like hell, right? So, of which, when you're going through things that make you feel like you're in hell, then the fear of God saying, don't kill yourself because you'll go to hell, like that fear goes out the window. And just ending the pain feels, just the thought of being able to end the pain is the best feeling. Like I think a lot of people's first thought when people think of suicide is like, wow, that person must have been really hurting. And, but like that thought of like, wow, I can end all this pain with without work, without seeing the pain, like that probably feels really good to the person in that moment. I know because I've been there. I have many friends that have committed suicide and I don't shame them at all for it. Maybe a little, because this too shall pass and there's probably always a way to go through things. I mean, just kind of like I am huge on love. Okay, I could love anyone. Pick the most toxic person ever and I will be like, I can love that person, which is true. I can. I hold love for many people that are not healthy for me. I love narcissists. I love avoidance. I love workaholics. I love adrenaline addicts. I love male sluts. I love so many people that are not healthy for me. And because I can love unconditionally like that. But I have had to learn that it's not about me proving that they can be loved within their shadows, of which I hope that, like, I do it so that maybe they can see and maybe they can love their shadows and maybe they can start integrating shadow work and touching on all those pains and traumas and bringing them up so that they can feel lighter and clearer and join me on this cloud of delusion that I live on. But a lot of people aren't ready for that. And I've learned that even though I can love people unconditionally, I can only give so much and I need to receive also. I have overlooked how important it is to receive and receive with good intentions, not receiving out of transactional basis what they're looking to get out of it, not receiving out of obligation, not receiving out of have tos, but like receiving out of intention of love. And so, yeah, I've had to learn that not everyone is capable of pouring out love the way that I am. Not everyone is capable of loving themselves to open up those wounds as I am. And, it's kind of scary. Like, how many people are projecting traumas, or like I can see it in people's energies of everything they're holding in. And have we gotten so far that people are holding so much in that if we were to allow people to have all that stuff come up all at once, we would just have a rash of suicides? Like, is that really where our world has come to? And, I'm not surprised if that's a yes. But ultimately, our bodies try to keep us safe, and our higher selves try to only give us the amount that we can chew on, the amount that we can handle right now. When they say God will only give you what you can handle and what you're strong enough to handle, I mean, that's kind of the way you can look at it. Is you're going through stuff, and maybe you feel like you're always going through stuff. Like, that's the earthquake. Instead of giving one big explosion, it's doing small tremors. It's releasing things gently. It's little by little. It might feel like a lot, but maybe that's why it feels never ending. Because if you were to open up all the wounds inside of you all at once, you probably would become delusional. And so our body has safeguards in place. Our nervous system has safeguards in place for us to only deal with what we can deal with. And then we shove the rest back down until we've leveled up enough that we can allow more to come up. And that's why you're never going to be done healing. And also, you're never going to be done learning and growing and leveling up unless you want to be an NPC. If you want to be a non player character and just live a monotonous life, that's then yeah, you're done growing. You're going to decide what the adult is that you are at age 18. You're going to pick one career for your whole life. You're going to pick one family for your whole life. You're going to pick one town for your whole life. And that's going to be your life. But if you're here listening to this video, especially this long in, I really do not believe that is you. So if you are still here watching this and you don't want to be an NPC, just the fact that you're here watching this still, that means that you are ready for your main character energy. You are ready to process the trauma so you can release weight and allow more light to come in. The more light that comes in, the more creativity you're going to be able to come up with, and to just be able to live a life that is amazing. I feel like a lot of people really thrive with unexpected situations, good, like, opportunities. That's funny how unexpected situation. How many times is like, oh, a car wreck? Like, that's an unexpected situation and it's not very good. But there could be unexpected situations like meditating by the river and all of a sudden you get a helicopter ride over one of the most famous world famous national parks. Happened. So, what type of unexpected events are you calling into your life? What energy are you working with? What intentions are you carrying? Be obsessive with the good intentions, and you will see your life change. Everything that you do today, pay attention, slow down, and notice what your intention is behind doing that. Even if you have some laundry to do, go slowly. And as you're putting the clothing in the washing machine, think of the intentions. Think of how grateful you are to be able to have that clothing and have a washing machine. I mean, I know a lot of people that don't have washing machines. Some people live in apartment complexes or trailer parks or vans, and they have to spend a lot of money to go to the laundromat. If you have a child, like, there's just There's so many things to be grateful for. And the more you slow down and be grateful that I have all this laundry to do, to be able to have clean clothes that I can go dirty again with adventures, clean clothes that I can look nice and feel pretty at work, clean clothes for my child. Just who are we kidding? He's never clean. He's a mechanic and a boy. Yeah. Fill your life with more intention. Pay attention to the energies. Know that the lessons will keep coming, and you have to be strong and ready for them if you desire more. Because you're not going to plateau. If you desire more, there's always, like, a plateau is just a faux peak. There's always more. Always more. I guess that's it. Yep, that's it for right now. That's it for today. I am trying to think of what I'm going to title this video, and as I think back on 20 minutes, I'm not really sure what I said. Sometimes things just, with these videos, things just kind of come out, and that's my goal. I don't want to have a structure for them. I want to just let things flow. I want to be able to just talk. I don't want to have to spend time editing. I'm not going to edit out my ums and ahs and my pauses, and I'm not going to try to re-switch around clips so that things make better sense. I'm not going to cut out the little times that I trail off, because this is real and this is authentic and this is what I enjoy doing. It's not about matching the algorithms or doing what's popular or trendy on videos. It's about me doing me. It's about me sharing my truth about what I believe this reality to be. This reality is created by you. Be intentional with your thoughts. Be obsessed with the life you want to create. And just know it really starts from the inside first, and then it's projected out. My name's Deb. I like to share my human experiences, hoping it helps you know you're not alone in your human experiences. Hopefully, we can all gain a little more confidence in life, a little more faith through the journey. I'm Deb. Comment below. Subscribe for more so you just never miss one, because they're all random and they're all juicy bits of goodness. And I don't want to miss you. I enjoy having your energy here. So make sure you are tuning in, because without me, or without you, there is no me doing this. Much love. Cheers.